So we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. We have to really ask ourselves the question, does the old format hurt people?
In what way? As in, like, our friends and family?
I think it does.
I say it would. Right on, right on.
Welcome back to the PM Podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Blake.
How you doing?
And today on the podcast, we're talking about, does the old format hurt people? We're talking while some people are moving around, so you might hear some stuff in the background. We're getting sets ready for another episode that we're about to film. But as you can tell, we're back on the couches.
Oh, yeah.
We're back sitting on the couches just because the other situation did not work out too well at all.
I was going to say, as you can tell.
Yeah, exactly.
It did not take us very long to get back.
No, we're back here. We are working on a set currently, though. We're calling it the... I don't actually know what we're calling it yet, but we are currently working on a set for the podcast. It's gonna look like a basement. So like a really like New York style basement.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen, I've only heard.
Yeah, so...
But I haven't heard any really descriptions about it. It's just been like, hey, by the way, we're moving the set.
Yeah, so it's going to be like an old school, like exposed brick, low lighting kind of thing.
Well, what's funny is when everyone told me, hey, yeah, we're moving the set again, I'm like, okay, cool. And I see the set being back here. I was like, is this where we moved it to?
Yeah, no, it's actually going to be in the last room that is not being used for anything.
Oh, perfect.
So we had one room left in the house that wasn't being utilized, whether for storage or offices or whatever. So we're gonna do that.
There we go.
But it's called, I don't know what I'm gonna call it, because it's gonna be exposed brick. Somebody wanted to call it the basement, but I feel like that sounds kind of pervy.
It's better than the dark hole.
The dark hole. I thought about like the tavern, and like have a beer or something, like have something in there, but I don't know if I like that. Or
how about the curb?
The curb? I don't know, man. Like I just think that, like, I don't know. I have no idea. But it needs to be something catchy, something that's like, you know what I mean, get your attention. So I don't know.
We'll think of stuff. If you have any ideas, guys.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because if you guys have any ideas of what you think the podcast studio should be called, put it in the comments below. Reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook, or you can go to our website and do it there too. Yep. PottyMouthShow.com.
Boom.
But yeah, I don't know. But it's gonna look really cool because we're gonna have like a table and we're gonna have stools in there, like the stools that are in there by the bar. Yeah. We're gonna take those and put them up there.
Oh, perfect.
And
that'll be good.
Yeah, and then we'll have like a nice round table that you can sit at. Ooh, that was loud. Sorry, guys.
It'll be Knights of the Round Table.
Well, I don't think we can go that far, but
without the swords.
Without the swords or violence. Oh yeah, we are twinning today.
We are. Are we feeling like Barney today with the purple?
No, to be honest, wardrobe handed this to us, and we didn't realize it until we were both in the same room. So, if you guys have noticed, we do wear a different version of the Potty Mouth shirt every single episode. If you guys watch the Potty Mouth Show. If you don't, then you're just seeing this. We change one shirt every week. But if you do watch the show, you've noticed that we wear a different colored version of this every week. Well, when we go through it, we just usually just like go in there, grab whatever, and then the order precedes it. It's already set up. And we didn't even realize that we were wearing the exact same one until we were like going up there to put it on, and we're like, oh, whoops.
Like, all right.
So now we're twinning today.
I guess that's what they wanted, so we'll go with it.
They wanted this to be Barney.
I love you. You love me.
Dude, that's a little too accurate.
Is it?
That's a really good impression.
Hi, boys and girls.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I used to watch Barney when I was little.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I was never a fan of Barney. I was always into Blue's Clues.
I was actually... I've watched so many different TV shows because, like, now I barely ever watch any kind of TV unless maybe it's a movie from occasion. But when I was...
A movie on occasion?
That's it.
Okay.
Words are hard.
Words are hard.
But, like... growing up, I was a movie buff. Like, if it was on, I was watching it.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But now, like, roles have reversed where I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm like,
TV?
you haven't really watched a whole lot of TV or movies.
No, like, I mean, if someone's watching something and I got nothing else to do kind of deal, like, okay, I'll sit down and watch. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's still entertaining. You just don't really do it a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, to me, and everyone has their own preferences. You know, I'm in the mindset now of, hey, it's like, this isn't really productive in what my goals are. So I'm not going to let that really have a focus on my life. I say that, however, I don't see anything wrong when it comes to TV or watching TV.
Well, I think especially in the industry that we're in, I think watching television and movies helps us become more creative.
Yeah.
Giving us different ideas, different angles, different storylines, things for our content. I think watching television and movies helps us in achieving our goals versus where it's like hindrance to some others.
Most definitely. And I mean, granted, is like I'll read a book from time to time and get ideas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
it's not just from movies and TV, YouTube. You know, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Right.
So I get a lot of that stuff because anytime I'm in the car, I'm listening to some kind of podcast or YouTube channel of some sort. That's where I get most of my stuff from.
Do you ever look back at the old episodes?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't like to.
Because you don't like seeing yourself on camera?
I do not.
Or hearing your voice. Which is it?
A little bit of both.
Really?
I mean, so did we tell them that we recorded a song?
I don't think we did. No.
Okay. Well, we recorded a song, or he helped me record a song that will be played at my wedding.
Yeah, for context, there's a group called Anthem Lights that does a song that his fiance wanted him to sing at the wedding, and so we basically got together in the studio and helped him produce it. So,
which, by the way, we don't want anyone to know that's going to be at the ceremony because we want them to think that's the actual song.
Oh, that's cool. And you'll tell them that it's you.
Yeah, and so we'll see who figures it out and who doesn't.
It sounds legit.
It really
sounds
does.
Legit.
It really does.
So.
I was actually very surprised by it.
Well, thanks. I'm the one that produced it, so.
Yeah, I was amazed. He's got some talent.
Really?
I'll tell you that.
Were you okay? You're not no bullshit.
No, I was amazed by it. I was like, that actually sounds good. I hate my voice, but that sounds good.
Okay. I thought you liked it. I just didn't know that you were that impressed.
No, I was very impressed by it. The only thing I wasn't impressed by was me.
Dude, but I think you're good. Like, you are really good, and like you have a good voice. But even on camera, you're funny, you're entertaining. I think you'll like the new content because as you guys are listening to this, this is the first episode of season 2. Like, today is the first episode released.
Oh, shoot,
We're filming this, and the first episode of season 2 is out already. So I think you'll enjoy watching yourself in the new content more because it's more short form. It's funnier. It's more entertaining. It's not as like draggy.
Yeah,
So it's really nice to kind of be in that zone, be in that space.
I can see that.
But yeah, so I think it'll be fun. But what we're going to get into today is a little heavier. We're going to talk about why we're going to ask ourselves the question, did the old format hurt instead of help? Did it hurt people in our lives? Did it hurt people in general? And we're going to discuss that. But first, we want you to know that the PM Podcast is supported by Circle City Tint. Circle City Tint provides the best in window tinting for your vehicle, starting right now at just $169.99 for a full car, a lifetime warranty, and any shade they have. Pretty crazy deal, right?
It really is, and it's no shady.
So, if you guys have any questions about their window tint, it does reduce heat in the car. It keeps you shaded from that heat and those harmful UV radiation. So, if you want to get your car window tinted today, they have tons of different options and tons of different films for you. And feel free to give them a call. It's 317-788-8468, or you can visit their website, www.circlecitytint.com. You ever have those problems when you're dealing with those really cold winters or those really, really blistering summers, kind of like this one? Well, Circle City provides the premier remote start called Arctic Start. They have a remote start that can keep your car in the perfect climate any time of year, whether it's really cold or really hot. Keep your car nice 72, nice 67. Doesn't matter. You can heat your car up and cool your car down with the Arctic Remote Start. Starts at just $249.99, and that is the install and the remote start, all inclusive, with a lifetime warranty on the parts and labor.
A lifetime warranty with that?
All of that.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So if you want to get your remote start today, just give them a call. 317-788-8468. That is 317-788-8468. Now back to the PM podcast. All right. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of it. We have to really ask ourselves the question, does the old format hurt people?
In what way? As in, like, our friends and family?
I think it does.
I say it would. Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to say it does. I'm going to say that when it... Well, I'll get your perspective in a second, but how I viewed it is like, it was funny, right? You had moments where it was like, oh gosh, this is hilarious. But you also had moments where it was like really pushing the line on, would I ever be okay with my family seeing this?
Yes.
Would I be okay with my kids seeing this someday?
Yep.
And I really had to start asking myself that question. And, and then we did the 25 Days of Sex Toys, which I believe, to be completely honest, I think was done very tastefully. I think it could have been much worse.
Oh, it definitely could have been a lot worse.
So I don't think those episodes necessarily were the primary focus, even though that is the best performing episodes that we have. But I just, when I looked back on it, I just realized that, like, I wouldn't want anybody to see this, really. Like, people, like young kids, we always go back to the whole point of, like, we're doing this to catch people's attention, and we're doing this to, like, make a scene and kind of make it a big wow, like, got you, like, what are they doing? You know what I mean? And then you look back on it and you're like, woof.
I was like, did I really need to do all that?
Right.
I mean, no, I would completely agree with you. I've come to find out my nephews started watching it.
Yeah, and how old are they again?
So they were 14 and 9 when they started watching it.
Oh, wow.
And I underestimated how much access that kids actually have.
A lot. Yeah. Do they still watch it?
More
of the new stuff, I mean.
More of the new stuff.
Fear Factor and...
Yeah, so more of the new stuff, yes. From Fear Factor on, I told my brother, like, hey, it's like, you need to get him off that. I said, now, second season, I was like, go for it. Because it's like, there's nothing you need to worry about on that.
Right, it's family friendly.
Yeah. And I said, I have complete confidence in the second season that they can watch whatever.
Right.
It's like, it's not going to be harmful for how they look at me or anything, because, it's like, for a very, very long time, my oldest nephew, like, he looked up to me. Mm-hmm. He still does.
Right.
But there's some questions that I had to answer.
Like what?
So, such as with the sex toys and all that, he started asking me questions on, like, hey, have you used any of this stuff? Like, all this, like, very personable stuff, but at the same time, he goes, now, how would you use that on a girl? I said, whoa, wait a minute. We're not going there. And
what?
Yeah. And so...
How old is he? This one's 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he'll be 15.
It's like, I hope the 9-year-old wouldn't ask questions like that.
You'd be surprised on some of the questions that you'd get.
That's true. 9-year-olds are crazy. Like, they're exposed to a lot nowadays.
Yeah. But honestly, when he asked me stuff about that, it really started to make me think a lot more. Like,
yeah.
Is this really something I want my family watching?
Right.
More and more. Now, granted, girlfriends in the past would ask the same questions, kind of deal. Like, hey, is this something you want your family watching? I mean, like, that's kind of how it was. I mean, it. Like, we've talked about it.
Yep.
But, I mean, and
I will let you dive into that one as much as you want to. I'm not going to press.
We laugh about it now, but at the time, I was sweating bullets on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like, but we can laugh about it now.
Oh yeah, now it's fine. But at the time, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, but we won't have to dive deep into that. But just to know that, like, it was a serious conversation.
I'm pretty sure. I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna open up to you real quick. Like, personality aside, like, completely, like, real.
Okay.
All right. So Blake came to me like 2 months before we started filming Potty Mouth Fear Factor. Maybe even like it was like January. And you had said to me that you didn't know if you were going to be around for season 2 or 3. Like, you didn't know if you could do it. And we had to like really go over everything and start talking about logistics and start talking about your own career path and where you wanted to go. And I partially believed that it was due to the content, the form of content that we were putting out. And I don't know if that was true, and I never asked you until right now.
Honestly, it was. Just because I'm all about excuse me. Cut that part out.
You're good.
Honestly, though, I'm all about self-improvement and anything that has to do with leadership. And, it's like, it's hard. If people were to see me doing that,
mm-hmm.
It's very hard to show that, hey, I actually am a leader.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that,
on that side, because it's showing a vulnerable side that nobody really needs to see when it comes to business.
Yeah, and okay. So you had told me that it was like for logistical reasons that you were stressed and all that. I totally understood. Like, I was never not understanding of that, and but at the same time, I knew you were lying to me. I knew it was because of the content. I knew it was what we were pushing out. And the only reason I knew is because I'm pretty sure you started dating Betsy at that time. Or, you were almost engaged. You were about to be engaged before we had that conversation. Because you had talked about asking her to marry you.
Yeah.
And so right around when you asked me, or you told me that I don't know if I can do this anymore, I don't know if I can do the show anymore, it's when you found your faith again. And so everything kind of accumulating in that circle, and when you said it to me, I was like, it's the content. It's 100% the content. Like, I mean, there might be other factors that were bothering you at the time, but like your main factor, I was convinced that it was because of the quality and the type of content we were putting out. I don't know if that was true, but that's what I thought in my head.
Well, I mean, I was very, very stressful because I run another business
mm-hmm.
as well with my fiance.
Right.
So, being having a workload on that side along with doing this at the time.
Yeah. Still very stressful.
Yeah, and I wasn't lying to you by any means when it comes to it.
No. Yeah.
It's like, but a part of me was just kind of hoping that the content would change a little bit.
Right.
And when you said that you guys were talking about
changing it anyway.
I was like, all right.
Yeah, because I think that next week we started talking about like, no, okay, so, because now, okay, so now I will cut all this out if need be, but so now it's like, as far as I'm concerned, you'll do this as long as you feel like you can, right? Based on the content that we're putting out now.
If I feel like I can, yes.
Yeah, and so, I think that kind of switched because it was on the fence until we had that meeting where we started talking about here's what we're changing, here's what we're doing, no cussing, family friendly, like, and all that kind of stuff, and more motivated towards keeping a wholesome appearance. Age restricting all the content, so like now even if your nephews wanted to go and watch the old stuff, they can't. So you have to be 18 years or older, and you have to sign in to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can't just go back and watch your stuff. in order to make it more family friendly.
Shoot, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So like if you're under 18 and watching this, I'm sorry. If you want to go back and watch our old stuff, you have to be 18 or older, or at least have a profile that's signed in that says you're 18. So yeah, your nephews can't watch anymore.
Yeah, because 18 or older, I really don't care.
You're 18.
Yeah.
Screw it. Yeah.
At that point, it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to be treating you more like an adult.
Right. If you don't know what's going on at this point, I can't help you. Like,
now, granted, I still want you to be responsible,
well, yeah,
no matter who you are.
Of course.
And I will help any way I can when it comes to it, but I am not going to help when it comes to being irresponsible on things.
Right. And so, yes, we really did change the content a lot due to the conversations that we were having behind the camera. There was animosity when we ended season 1. It was like there was definitely some times where Blake and I had conversations where it was really like, how long are we gonna do this, and how much longer is it gonna last, and are we even gonna film season 2? Like there was a lot of questions that came into play off camera that really could have affected everything in a large way.
Yep.
And I'm glad you're still around. I'm glad you decided to stick around. But I also think it was because of the changes we were making, and we were able to work with your schedule the best we can, and still currently do. So I mean,
yeah, I truly appreciate that.
Yeah, we make it happen. So that's the main goal. Because I know you guys want him around for at least another season or more. So you don't want to see Blake go. If you don't want to see Blake go, you got to put in the comments right now, Blake, don't leave.
Are they gonna say get the heck out of here?
But no, like we his schedule is probably one of the most hectic ones. We can kind of work around whatever. People are back. So it's just funny how less than 6 months ago we were worried that Blake wasn't even going to be a part of the show anymore, and then now we're here, season 2. Looking on to season 3 and more, and
yep.
you know, and just being excited for the content that we're creating and the content that we've changed. But I do believe that the old content did hurt people.
I believe it did.
I mean, it was funny, but at what cost? You know what I mean? Like, there was a level of, disrespect, I think, to it.
Yeah.
That was just not okay with me. Like, watching it back, I'm like, we probably shouldn't have said that, or we probably shouldn't have done that, or we probably shouldn't have trashed Brittany like that. Like, it just stuff that we shouldn't have said and stuff that we shouldn't have done.
We trashed Brittany?
Oh yeah.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, there's a couple episodes where we were not. I mean, we didn't say her name, which we kind of just did right there, but we didn't say her name, but you know who we're talking about.
Let's cut that part out.
Cut it out. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, so there's levels to it. And I think at the bottom line, I can't speak for you, but for me, I wanted a show to where when I have kids, I can put them in front of the TV and they can watch it and not have any worries.
I'd agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like, they can scroll on their phone and get on YouTube and look it up and be fine.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the raunchiest our content will get from here on out was Fear Factor. Fear Factor, and it wasn't even raunchy, it just had the most cussing. Partially because we were scared shitless. But
AKA the ghost.
the ghost one.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I think there's just, there was a... That was funny. Entry door. That was a security system, so don't try to break in, okay? We will know and we will catch you. And then
we will find you.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think there wasn't a need for it, and we knew we could make better content.
Yeah,
like we didn't need to be dirty. Like, we didn't need to be disgusting or raunchy. Like, we knew we could make quality content without having issues like that.
Yeah, we're still making sexual jokes and be more like throwing in the innuendos and all that stuff.
Right, it's not on the nose.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, you have more. Yeah, you're good. What did you say?
Did I use it right?
It's an innuendo.
What's an innuendo?
Bottom or top. Man, you remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we made that up on the fly. That is completely made up.
Oh, yeah. It was probably the best we've done.
See, there's moments, though. That's what I'm saying. There's moments about season 1 that was fun.
Yeah.
And that was wholesome and that people could enjoy and laugh about. And then there was times where it's like, did we really need that episode?
It's like, it's like, that's really pushing it.
Right. So, but I do believe that and then like outside of our families, I wanted to build a company that was family geared. And it didn't start out like that. The company started out to where I just wanted to do a podcast. And I just wanted to be dirty and funny and let our dirty minds talk, and it happened like that. And then the kids conversation came up more in my personal life, having kids and trying to have kids, and then I was like, it made me reflect. And you found your faith again, and so it made me reflect on like, oh, do I want my kids watching this? And I'm assuming that it made you kind of look back and be like, is this something a godly man would do? And so it just really kind of put us on blast, for lack of a better term. It's like, oh, geez, like, what are we doing?
Sometimes that's the best ways to reflect, though.
Yeah, true.
You know, it's like just put all out there and put all pride aside.
Well, I don't regret doing the show. I don't regret doing season 1 because I think it gave us an opportunity. Because here's the deal: if we had done season 1 differently, we wouldn't be where we're at now, as far as quality and content. Because I think it had to wake us up and make us realize that, like, we don't need to do that to be funny. We don't need to do that to have really good, solid content.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would have had that if we'd just gone into a show and done it like we do now.
Yeah, and honestly, I was like, you would be amazed on how many companies, or just in general, things that happen to where they start out in left field and they end up in right field.
Right.
You know, it's like, and that is like, but it's the progression along the way that's building that company.
It's the growth. Yeah. And I think that I'm thankful for the opportunities that we've had and what we've done. Would we have done it differently looking back on it? Absolutely.
As anybody would in any other situation.
But now I think I'm happy and proud of the content that we're putting out now.
Yep.
And I hope you are too. I hope this is something that
I definitely am.
Yeah. Something that you'd want to show your nephews and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you want to hear more, like I said, this show is me and Blake being real with you guys. We're going to have real personal conversations, kind of like the one you just heard. Like that conversation Blake and I had not had.
Nope.
And so it's literally just like, I could go on about this a little bit more because I have some more, but I think next week Blake and I will dive into our first impressions. I think is what we're doing. Our first impressions of each other, and then our friendship and how it was built. I think that's what it's about, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, tune into that next week. It'll be good, and we appreciate you guys watching this. If you haven't watched The Daily Show, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing it. With that being said, that's all for this episode of the PM Podcast. If you guys like this episode, make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or watch it here on YouTube. If you're watching it here on YouTube, make sure to like this video so we can keep bringing you fun, silly, goofy content like this. With that being said, that's all for this episode of the PM Podcast, and we will see you next time on the podcast.